Hi, I'm Faith McDonnell from the IRD's Religious Liberty Program. And guess what? It's International Women's Day. Here I am at the office celebrating International Women's Day by rejoicing in the fact that I live in a country where women have all kinds of opportunities, where women are blessed, where women are honored and respected, and to remind you of those women around the world who don't have those blessings, who really suffer. You know, we've seen so much this year and in past years in the past about women being victims, and it comes from women in the West saying that they're victimized. I would like them to hear about some of the women who are victims of oppressive situations and oppressive systems, government systems and other systems, ideologies that I work with, and show you who the true victims are, who are actually the true champions, because they don't consider themselves victims. They consider themselves real soldiers in a fight for what they believe in. So first, I have a little cup here. This cup represents Asia Bibi, a Christian woman from Pakistan. And for our purposes today, Asia Bibi represents all of the Christian women of Pakistan who are oppressed and persecuted because of their faith. Asia was trying to get a drink when she was working, and because she dared to drink from the same place that the Muslim women were drinking from, she was accused of blasphemy against Islam and is in prison, sentenced to death for blasphemy. This is a woman who we should remember on International Women's Day, to pray for her and to continue to press our government, to press the Pakistan government to release this woman and allow her and her family to go to a country where they can be free. Second, I have this beautiful box that came, it's a little bit broken now, but I've had it for many years. It came with some wonderful candy in it from Iran. And it came from a woman, an Iranian woman who converted to Christianity and lives in the United States, who's a dear friend of mine. Her family was still in Iran. They fled and were in Turkey and could not get asylum. This was, again, many years ago. And this woman fought for them, wrote to her members of Congress, wrote to senators, wrote to the White House, found me, asked me to help, some others, and we finally managed to get her family safely to the United States. So in honor of the women of Iran, both the Christian and Muslim women who just want to live normal lives as women with freedom, this is in honor of her. And then, you know, it's not just the Islamic system that suppresses and oppresses women. The Chinese government continues to persecute Christians and also to force women into abortion and sterilization because of what is now the two-child policy, used to be the one-child policy, as well as tormenting and persecuting and imprisoning women who are members of Falun Gong. So today we think of them on International Women's Day. Women who could be truly considered victims, unlike the women in the West who whinge about and say that they're victims. And this was given to me by a lovely friend of mine, Dr. Lily Zhang, who is a member of Falun Gong. And every year I speak at their rally for freedom on Capitol Hill. Now, I'm not a member of Falun Gong, I'm a Christian, but I believe that everyone has the right to religious freedom. And the Falun Gong people have been just amazing in their fight for religious freedom and for freedom in China. And because of them, actually, millions of Chinese have renounced the Chinese Communist Party. So pray for the members of Falun Gong, especially the women who have been beaten and killed in prison after they've been arrested. And of course, pray for the women in China, but also the women of North Korea who have fled to China, trying to get away from the repression in North Korea and end up either being taken into sex slavery in China or forced back to North Korea, which is basically a death sentence. These are women who we should remember on International Women's Day. Finally, I'm going to remind you of a dear friend of mine, a dear sister in Christ, who is an amazing, strong, triumphant woman who was sentenced to death in Sudan because of her faith, called an apostate because her father had been a Muslim, and the Sudan government said that she was also a Muslim. I'm talking about Miriam Ibrahim, if you don't know yet. Miriam was in prison in Khartoum, sentenced to death. Her sentence was delayed because she was pregnant with her and Daniel's little girl, Maya, at that time. She gave birth in shackles in prison. So we have this sign that's left over from the protest that we had at the White House back in, I think it was 2014, when Miriam was in prison. We would like the Sudan government to stop beating women, to stop persecuting Christian women and those women who stand up for their rights as women. And Miriam is my poster woman on that issue because of her strength during the time she was imprisoned, her compassion for the other prisoners, and for what she has done to speak out about the rights of women in Sudan since she has been freed and now lives in the United States. So that's my message on International Women's Day. Think about the women who truly are in need of an International Women's Day. And those of us who have freedom in the West should celebrate our freedom, pray for those who don't have it, and be a voice for them. Thanks, and God bless you.